Destiny 2 Into the Light developer stream live stream recap 3. Earlier this week, we shared some additional details about Destiny 2 Into the Light with our third live stream. This includes details about 2 reprised exotic missions, a look at the new Crucible PvP maps coming in May, the announcement of the Pantheon PvE challenge, and updates to the new light experience, character recustomization, and more. We announced the reprised versions of 2 classic exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour. These reprised versions will retain some of the familiar elements of the classic missions, but will also find updated puzzles, encounters, rewards, and triumphs, as well as new secrets to discover on Legend difficulty. The Whisper will be available on April 9th with the launch of Destiny 2 Into the Light, and 0 Hour will be available in May. Erismore wants to pick your brain, nothing creepy. She just thought you could use memories to shape an updated version of a weapon that would be very useful against Witness. Yes, it's Whisper of the Worm, the exotic sniper rifle that lives in your power weapon slot. Just to be careful when jumping around in the dark, because sometimes we don't remember things like they used to be, and you don't want to be drowned. Oh, and you don't want to drown in the deep. Okay, so this one you get so you get the 0 Hour mission from Ada. Ada 1 has a mission for you. You need to go back to the old tower, take down the fallen pirates that want to get hold of one of a very powerful weapon of our past, and maybe, just maybe, face a scary robot called Trevor that feels lonely and wants to give a Guardians a hug. The updated craftable Outbreak Perfected Pulse Rifle will be waiting for those who manage to avoid him and finish on time. If you guys didn't know, like I said, these missions coming back into light. I covered all in the video already. 20 minutes for normal mode. No, 40 minutes for normal mode, 20 minutes for Legend. Same as Legend is basically the OG version. After obtaining exotic weapons from each of these reprised weapons, new quests will become available. This will allow you to unlock additional crafting options, including upgrading each weapon's unique intrinsic behaviors. A new quest will become available each week for 3 weeks. They did say that if you had the catalyst already, you wouldn't have to go through this, which I'm curious, because this kind of makes it seem like that's not true. Reprised ships and the new exotic weapons will... In addition to the new exotic weapons you'll earn, you can also earn reprised versions of the classic ships. The Whisper will offer a new ship with an updated look, Carver the Worm, inspired by 1,000 Wings, while 0 Hour will offer Vamina Junker. Vamina Junker was also updated to look built on the frame of scrap. I'm not reading all that, and inspired by. Okay, so this one, that if you guys don't know, I'll try to put the ships on screen. The Outbreak Perfected ship looked terrible. People were mad about it, so they said they're going to redo it and they're going to build it on top of the original ship and make it more Outbreak Perfected theme. New PvP maps, also in the thing. Character customizations coming into the light, also in the video. They're adding an additional name change coming into the light as well, also in the video. This is what I came for, but I freaking zoomed over it to see it. They told us that they'd be getting new Pantheon information in this week's TWAB. There's no new Pantheon information. They literally said, hey, we're going to get more information on Pantheon and the TWAB, so feel free to read that. And everybody was excited. Literally nothing. We shared a few words about Pantheon, the new raid boss gauntlet starting April 30th. In Pantheon, you'll have the opportunity to face raid bosses in weekly challenge with escalating difficulty and rewards. This is a chance to rally your clan or use Fire Team Fighter to take this to challenge. We'll have more details as we get closer to release, so that sucks. This is in the video, guys. Just letting you guys know, April 9th, like I said, there will be another Final Shape gameplay review starting at April 9th at 9:30 a.m. PT, like 30 minutes before Into the Light goes live. If you watch this, you'll be able to get this emblem. Looks really nice, but they also said you can continue to work on earning these 2 emblems in that stream as well. That's really good. Now, this is where the big freaking meat potatoes comes in. PvP, of course. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another PvP Strike Team update. This is going to be a smaller one. This is not that small. Simply because most of our work for this release has already been centered around wrapping up the PvP map pack, which will be released in May. However, in addition to the weapon balancing changing we mentioned a couple weeks ago, we have some additional impactive changes we'd like to discuss, so let's get into it. For update 7.3.6, we're making some changes to the game modes available in the competitive playlist. We're removing Survival and Countdown Rush, and we're replacing it with 3v3 Clash and Collision. And for Collision, we've changed some zone placements on maps like Dead Cliffs and Vostok based on the feedback from labs. For Clash, we'll also be swapping the ammo meter system for ammo crate system. Oh lord. The Collision was tested in the labs with the ammo crate system was designed with it in mind, but internally we have also been testing Clash crates for some time. I don't really like that. The benefits of the crate system in Clash game mode specifically is that it continues to promote map movement and helps incentivize passive team play which can occur when there are no on-map objectives to otherwise encourage flow and engagement zones. Oh, in and out of engagement zones. This change will result in small net increase in special ammo availability and competitive compared to the other ammo meter system, while still being an overall reduction from the pre-update 7.3.5 respawn values. This could be cool, but I'm kind of worried that if you get a team that you're just losing against and you can't win, they're gonna, like, if you lose that first special box, that's gonna be a very big snowball thing. Because if you use your special ammo and then they kill you, you have no special ammo and they have special ammo because they won the fight to get the special box. So that's kind of weird. Trials. We have heard the feedback that the special ammo economy in Trials, while improved, doesn't feel quite right just yet. So the first 2 weeks of 7.3.6, we'll be experimenting with it to gather additional data. The first week of Trials, we will be running what we refer to as unrestricted special ammo crate system, where all 4 ammo crates spawn every round, one by each team's initial spawn and 2 in the neutral locations. And players will have special ammo. And players who have special ammo will drop it on death when they are killed. We will use this to draw a baseline for an upper limit of special ammo in Trials environments. The second week, we will be moving to a restricted The second week, we'll be moving to a restricted version of ammo crates, where only 2 crates spawn each round, the ones by each team's initial spawn. While players will still lose special ammo on death, they will not drop special ammo bricks. This variance will end up with special ammo availability being between the current ammo meter values and the special respawn values. I kind of like the freaking ammo meter in Trials. What's going on with that? I like the ammo meter. It's pretty fun. During these first 2 weeks, we will gather a substantial amount of data and feedback on how both amounts feel in play to inform future tuning and special ammo systems for Trials. The plan is to return the current version of ammo meter system the third week of Trials until we can further tune values. Not swap improvements. In competitive update 7.3.6 and in Trials for the first 2 weeks while we run the ammo crate experiments, we'll be rolling out an approved version of the not swap modifier, which will now remove ability energy if you change your ammo type for a weapon in your kinetic slot or energy slot mid-life. We are implementing this change because being able to quickly and freely swap between weapons mid-engagement nullifies the downside of using a weapon with limited ammo and pushes the risk versus reward proposal out of balance from making those choices. To clarify, this means that you can swap between weapons with the same ammo type without penalty. For example, if you have conditional finality in your kinetic slot, you can swap it to an Eye of Soul or any other special ammo weapon in that slot without losing any energy. However, if you swap from it to an Immortal or any other primary ammo in that slot, not swap will trigger and drain your ability energy similarly to if you had swapped a part of your subclass or an exotic armor piece. This should prevent occurrences of players running special ammo and swapping primary weapons immediately after using the ammo, which will make the game state easier to understand. So it's kind of confusing because they basically want to prevent this from happening mid-fight, which I don't see people doing. I mean, I guess it's an opportunity for them to do so because people must have been doing it because they're changing it. It says mid-life though, so does that mean I can die and then change it mid-round? I'd have to test that. What I would do is I would either pick I would start with conditional. Like, for example, on JAV 4, I did conditional or a shotgun literally all week. But on Cauldron, I did a sidearm. Because, like, Cauldron is so close quarters that you use so much special ammo that the fights I would use shotgun in the next fight that would happen literally, like, the next round, because Cauldron is so, CQC, you wouldn't have shotgun ammo. So I used the sidearm that time. Let's see. Like I said, they does specify mid-life right here, so maybe you can change in between rounds or while you're dead. That'd be cool too. We'll see. Terms of service update. We've also updated our terms of service, which will focus on matchmaking manipulation. Moving forward, intentionally manipulating matchmaking to gain an unfair advantage, whether using a Smurf account or an external third-party tools, will be a bannable offense. This includes attempts to bypass any of our matchmaking systems, including outlier protection, ranked, and fireteam-based matchmaking. A Smurfed account is defined as an account that is intentionally deranked or sabotaged over a sustained period to present itself as a very low-level player for the sole purpose of manipulating matchmaking, which our detections differentiate from actual players. Players who utilize these accounts moving forward will be subject to bans and restrictions depending on the severity of abuse. This will have no effect on players who play in a legitimate fire team or mixed skills. For example, those who are helping other players to get their team friend. Those who are helping other players to get to the lighthouse or earn adepts in Trials of Osiris, or guardians who are playing with their clanmates or friends who have different skills than their own. In addition, all initial warnings of bans will be manually reviewed by the team. So, it says Smurfing account is defined as an account that has been intentionally deranked or sabotaged over a sustained period to present itself as a very low level player for the sole purpose of manipulating matchmaking, which are detections differentiate from actual players. So that type of smurfing is banned. I thought, like, so you can still smurf, like you can make a new account, like do like freaking unranked to ascendant. You just can't like derank yourself. Hey folks, the weapons team here with the balance changes for this week for this release. It's a small one with the most changes relating to weapons shipping with Destiny 2 into light archetypes. Weapon archetypes. These changes are all base weapon damages except where otherwise noted. They are applied to both PvE and PvP. Breach loaded grenade launchers see a fair amount of usage in PvE, but mostly wave frames for ad clear and blinding grenade launchers for crowd control. We're cranking up their impact damage for single target utility, and so the mountaintop feels as juiced as it deserves. At the same time, where the current radius of disorienting grenades is larger than reasonable for the amount of ammo these have, so we're reining it in a little bit. Why? Why? It's fuck it, I don't care. This just makes me want to slide shot blinding grenade ignition code even more. This works out at a roughly increased damage impact by 40%. This works out at a roughly 15% damage buff, though total damage varies depending on the blast radius stat. Reduce disorienting grenade radii, both damaging and disorienting, by 15%. Lightweight bows were hurt a little too much than PvP bow nerf, leaving them just barely viable. This change helps them deal a bit more chunk damage and clean up wounded targets more easily without exceeding precision for damage dealt. Okay. Increased lightweight bow base damage by 6%. La Monarch and Wish Under are not affected by this change. Precision 450 RPM auto rifles were a little too forgiving in the sandbox, where most weapons had become less forgiving, and their effectiveness reflects this. We brought them down a little. Reduced base damage by 5%. I still think precisions are going to be strong. This just makes it even more important that Summoner's about to be goated. Boys, I'm just letting y'all know. I didn't think my golden tricorn heel clip summoner would be that good. I thought my perpetual motion kill clip summoner would 100% be my favorite one. You gotta try golden tricorn and heel clip on that thing. That thing is amazing. I love it. I love that auto. It's so much fun to use. Precision 100 and RP. Precision and adaptive hand cannons needed a small tweak of how forgiving they are, particularly with explosive payload perks on adaptives. This same is true for pulse rifles and rapid fire scout rifles. Hand cannons. Precision hand cannons can 2 crit 2 body low resilience guardians again and more easily get 3 criticals with damage boosts. Increased base damage by 6%. Adaptive hand cannons have an increased range cushion for 3 taps, and we've offset their damage reduction from explosive payload to allow them to 3-tap guardians for any resilience and optimal range. Increased body shot damage by 1%. Increased critical hit damage by 4%. Pulse rifles. Rapid fire have increased forgiveness and allow 8 critical hits to kill low resilience guardians. Increased body damage by 3.5%. Increased critical hit damage by 1%. Lightweight increased body damage by 6%. Critical hit increased damage by 3%. Adaptives increased body shot damage by 5%. Increased critical hit damage by 2%. Rapid fire scouts get increased base damage by 2%. And precision shotguns correct a grounding issue that causes precision slugs to require 1 extra pellet to kill max resilient guardians. Okay, moving forward, exotics. With Whisper of the Worm coming back and will be craftable, so we wanted to ensure that it was a meta pick for damage. Its DPS is already respectable, so we increased the reserve ammunition substantially, increasing it to a sustained damage potential. Increased total ammunition from 18 to 24 before reserves mods. 1000 Voices already delivers massive damage per shot, but you'd run out of ammo so fast that it barely justified bringing it compared to other high damage options. We've increased the reserves to help with that, and increased total ammunition from 7 to 11, both before reserve mods. Quicksilver Storm has been one of the top PvE primary weapons since the shift in Season of the Plunder, and the time has come to dial it back a little. With these changes, it's slower build up to grenades, and the grenades deal reduced damage, but given that previously one magazine could give you 3 grenades, each grenade hit like a heavy grenade launcher and it's still a very strong option. So increase the trigger rockets by 15%. Reduce the grenade area effect damage versus combatants by 37.5%. So, hold on. So you're no longer able to get 3 rockets per mag? It's gonna be like 2? Whew. They saying it's still gonna be pretty strong. That might kill it. Like people, I was talking to this earlier. People saying that Quicksilver Storm wasn't that good enough to get nerfed. There's a reason. The reason that people stopped using it, it's still really good. It's not as fun as the other weapons that we have. It's old reliable. It gets the job done. Like if I'm not running my solar build, I'm probably not going to be running my Strand Banner of War Titan NGMs. I'm just not confident enough in it to not throw. So if I'm on Strand, I'm using old reliable with Abandoned Leaps, Grapple Nade, and freaking Quicksilver. With a freaking away frame grenade launcher. It gets the job done. Man, I put commemoration on. It's literally called old reliable. So it gets the job done. I'm not surprised it got nerfed. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not surprised it got nerfed, but I'm surprised it got nerfed now. Because I was expecting it to definitely get nerfed maybe like a season ago to where everybody was using it. Now that there's so much different opportunity to use different types of weapons, the decision to nerf it now was kind of weird. Because people aren't using it as much as they were before, but it's still incredibly good as it was last season. So like the decision to nerf it now when people aren't using it as much as they were last season is funny. I understand why though, it's still strong. Last word, increased base damage by 6%. Forwarder inadvertently received primary ammo sidearm critical damage bonus. We fixed the issue and increased the base damage to compensate. Increased base damage by 6%. Okay. Perks. Recluse is back along with Master of Arms. In its previous state, it was just a little too strong and would eclipse other damage perks. So we've brought it down and we've brought it down a little. In this form, it's balanced against perks and a similar use case. Reduce the damage bonus from 20% to 15%. The first version of Magnificent Howl and on Luna's Howl was super strong. Shortly after, ships ended up getting redesigned, so it stopped breaking PvP. Now that Luna's Howl is returning, we wanted to bring back the potential to 2-tap Guardians in PvP, but with a little more effort. So here's the new perk description. The number of persistent final blows before reloading affects the total rounds granted with increased range and damage. Persistent final blows while Magnificent Howl is active extend their effect to additional rounds. Okay. For Micro Missile, to make sense on a random road version of Mountaintop, we decided to convert this into an intrinsic, which we could then reuse to make more Micro Missile frame grenade launchers in the future. We also really don't want to return the Mountaintop to PvP meta, so this version can no longer one-hit kill in the PvP, but the improved impact damage increases viability in PvE, giving it more of a unique role, so it can now be used like a rocket-like jumping tool. We expect some epic movie of the week contenders with this one. Redesigned this perk to be a weapon intrinsic and rebuilt it to deal less direct damage versus players while giving it dramatically more self-impulse physics. Self-physics inputs, they don't matter, dog. Retuned this PvE damage to be competitive with other breach-loaded grenade launchers. Granted, it slightly increased reload speed. What I'm excited to do, I have this build in mind that I really do want to try, and it sucks because I know Mountaintop is coming out with the original release. I want to do a recluse with this repulsor brace and Master of Arms, right? And put it on my hunter with Gerfalcons. And then I need a Mountaintop with auto-loading holster and Harmony. That's gonna be disgusting. Or if I really want to do like a big damage to like a really big yellow bar, redirection, auto-loading redirection. Beautiful. Permeability. Fixed an issue where the perks was causing the Slammer Sword to get stuck on Strand damage type. Crucible only changes. Flinch can have a randomizing effect on duels. Flinch can have a randomizing effect on duels, so to increase the reward for skilled gunplay, we reduced flinch on primary weapons across the board. Reduced flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15%. Sunshot became very unforgiving with the new sandbox changes and needed a buff. Increased precision damage by 11% to address this. Wishender's exit damage was dealing too much damage, so we adjusted the weapon's base damage to compensate, reduced boss base damage by 5%. So if you guys don't know, Wishender does 2 damage types. It does damage when you hit person, and it does even more damage when it exits your body. So that's what they mean. They're reducing that. Corrected some weapons, giving incorrect ammo amounts for a meter, rewards, and crates. Okay. Reduce the strand fragments cost. Thank you. Appreciate you. Starting in Destiny 2 Into the Light on April 9th, we're reducing the cost of strand fragments from 200 strand meditations to 100. We hope this changes allow players to catch up on any missing fragments for their strand builds as we prepare for the final shape. While the new Light campaign serves players new to the game like Destiny 2, it might not fit those players already experienced with first-person shooters. Ride to the tower with an Arcadia class ticket. Arcadia class? Okay, who cares? Starting in Destiny 2 Into the Light, after completing the second new Light mission, Shao Han will ask you to sync with his ship in the Cosmodrome, providing a new option to leave the new Light tutorial early and head straight to the tower. The option to skip the tutorial will remain for the rest of your time in the Cosmodrome no matter when you leave. You will receive critical rewards like your ship and your sparrow, so don't worry about missing out if you decide to skip. The ship will remain in the Cosmodrome for the duration of a Guardians Rises, so players who choose not to skip immediately can do so at any time afterwards. Okay, so this is also in the video they're talking about when they wrapped up the live stream. It's also in there. Updating the default chat experience with Destiny 2 Into the Light. We're making some changes on the default chat experience to allow players to connect with other players more easily by creating a more social experience. On April 9th, we'll be updating the text chat to auto-join chat channels by default. When you log in, you'll immediately see other players chatting in game and can jump into the conversation. Players will also default to auto-join voice chat when they're in a fire team or fire team lobby. Voice chat is for local, and team channels will still be off by default. This is cool and all, but if you're like me and a couple of my friends whose voice chat has been broken since like Shadowkeep, it don't work. As part of this update, we'll also be updating our text chat language filtering rules. We'll continue to monitor and audit their performance. For more information on our language filters, visit our text-based language filtering FAQ. Some players may see chat off by default after this update. This is intentional for our younger players. For information, please visit our date of birth requirements for Destiny 2 and budget services. If you'd like to see what options you have on your current account or change available settings, you can visit the settings and go under the social tab to view changes to view or change your text chat status. Iron Banner returns, and it's your first opportunity to earn the new Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher and the reprised multi-mag CCX submachine gun. So even if you're already nabbed the Terbituary emblem or Iron Lord title, you have too few good reasons to jump back in. Oh, so talk about Legend mode. Great. For Onslaught. Great. Never mind. They don't. Freak, man. I thought I was going to talk about the Legend stuff for Onslaught. Onslaught Legend Challenge. With the release of Destiny 2 Into the Light on April 9th comes a new PvE wave-based defense activity, Onslaught. To celebrate the release, we're looking forward to Guardians who are among the first to conquer the mode on its higher difficulty. Details. Starting April 9th when the 7.3.6 update goes live, the first 3 fire teams to complete all 50 waves on Legend difficulty will receive a Lord Shaxx mini replica helmet per fire team. Members 3 per team total. Oh, I ain't gonna have no one play this. So let's congratulate the people who get it. We will announce the winners in the next week's TWAB, and we'll reach out to the winners shortly after a bunch.net. You can get a full details on the rules and eligibility page. Show us what you're made of, Guardians. Destiny 2 access to features. Last month we implemented date requirement. Last month we implemented a birthday requirement in Destiny 2. As detailed our date of birth requirements article, some players may be unable to access certain features and functionality based on the age and region, such as purchasing silver or text chatting. Players who need to correct their information can submit a ticket for our team to review. Known issues: gilding the Guardian Games title champ does not alter the guild counter. The Season of the Wish versions of Dreaming City weapons are not dropping the burnished and blue shift dream shaders. The Last Right Scout Rifle uses the same visual appearance as the Prophet Scout Rifle. For a full list of emerging issues in Destiny 2, review the known issues article. If you observe other issues, please report them to our help forum. Alright. Art of the week. Good. That's everything for this week. We can't wait to see what everyone dives into next week. Onslaught, the brave arsenal weapons, reprise exotic missions, character recustomizations, and the list goes on. And remember to pace yourselves, take breaks as needed, and make sure to follow the Destiny 2 team accounts, as we'll be monitoring the updates and responding to questions and feedback. It should be a fun week. We'll be back next week with another TWAB. In the meantime, be excellent to each other. Thanks for hanging out with us, Destiny 2 community team.